Welcome, everybody, to the Combat 365 pre show. I'm Damon Roth. I am here with Zach Andrews,
What up? How it do?
and we have Thomas Chow going to be joining us here. There he is right there. Thomas Chow
What
joining us.
beautiful human that he is.
Oh, it's going to be a great night. We got two exciting matches for us on here on Combat. We're going to be starting tonight's show off just a little bit with Eddie Osborne taking on Judas Icarus for the Global Championship. And then right after that, we're going to have Jackie Lee taking on Artemis Spencer for the Grand Championship. Both of those matches were phenomenal. Chow, how are you doing tonight? What are your thoughts on those matches coming up?
Well, excuse me. I'm doing great. As I coined it, as they'll see, it's a golden edition of 365 Combat. The matches were great. I think. I lost my train of thought. That's how excited I was to view and watch these matches. I was surprised that we were going to get both matches on one episode, but I think as we talked about, it works so well, and I think the fans are going to be happy. I think they're going to be excited, and I think they're gonna eat it up.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Zach, you were there for the taping, so you got to see both matches from behind the scene. Oh, no, actually, no, you were actually out there. You were doing production. Yes, right.
I was with you guys all that day, keeping the show running from behind the timekeepers area there with Chow. Absolutely phenomenal matches, the two of them. Jackie Lee taking some very, very nasty offense from Artemis, and same big hard hitting match with Eddie and Judas. You're gonna love both of them. They're absolutely amazing matches.
Oh, I could not agree more. Before we get there, just to put a little plug out there, next week we're on Combat. We're going to have Paviko taking on Travis Williams, and then Laxadartha taking on Brett Matthews. You're definitely not going to want to miss those. Also, for all of our Ontario fans out there, you'll notice that Eddie isn't on the show tonight, and that's because he is in Ontario preparing for the upcoming contest, the upcoming card happening in Guelph. And you can get all the details for that on our Facebook page, on the 365 Facebook page, as well, of course, the 365 website. But coming back here in just over a week, we are going to see some exciting wrestling once again at the White Eagle Polish Hall. We got a promo for you here just to introduce us. Let's get that fired up, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about some of those matches coming up.
365 Spring Break is coming to Victoria on March 19th. You are not going to want to miss this. Damian Kane is taking on Eli Surge. Eddie Osborne is taking on Travis Williams. Laxadartha taking on global champion Judas Icarus. By the Hall taking on Daniel McKay. State of emergency in tag team action against Eli Tribe. Nicole Matthews taking on Elliot Tyler. Do not miss 365 Professional Wrestling Spring Break. Card and venue subject to change.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. Very excited for that card coming. Don't want to talk too much, but just a little bit. White Eagle Polish Hall next Saturday, the 19th. It's going to be quite the interesting thing to go. Now, right before that, though, on the 18th, there is going to be a special bonus episode coming from 365. It's not Combat, but it's going to be coming right here from the 365 Training Academy. And this guy is going to be making an appearance on it. What do you have to say with the upcoming match there?
Didn't put in a lot of work. My first match of 2022, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say who I'm wrestling, but it is going to be a phenomenal. I'm going to have a phenomenal time. I hope that you guys are going to have a phenomenal time. I'm going to kick some butt, and it is going to be an amazing time. I'm looking so forward to it. It's going to be my first match again of 2022. First of very, very many.
Very man, I like that. We're going to be doing some more tag team, you think?
So I don't know. Seeming my former tag team partner Damian Kane seems he wants to tag up with that young blood there, Maxwell Benson. I think I'm back to being a singles competitor for now.
Oh, interesting. Shaw, what's your thoughts on that? With some of these new competitors coming up, we have Damian Kane, we have Maxwell Benson, we got Zach Andrews here. What's your thoughts on potential things in the future?
Well, from what I've seen and what everything has been happening so far here in 365, it's definitely heating up. I think that with each match that these young guys have, the amount and who they're wrestling. So here's the thing: they're not just wrestling each other, and they're not wrestling not just other young competitors from other parts of BC, other parts of Canada, other parts of the United States. They're wrestling veterans. They're wrestling people, wrestlers, competitors who have been here in this business, in this industry for a very long time. And when they get in the ring, when they've got in the ring with these wrestlers, you can only learn. Even in defeat, you learn so much. And I think all three men have such an up. I forget the term, but there's such an upward mobility, and the sky's the limit. It's just you guys got to keep focused. That's pretty much it. You got to keep focused. Don't let the losses get you down, because they are going to show. They are going to come. You know, it's something that will happen. Something that is going to happen in professional wrestling. You just got to keep your game plan and learn. And I think that these three young men and all the people I see coming from the academy, I've got great upsides.
Absolutely. And if you want to be part of the wrestling culture here on Vancouver Island, check out the Pro Wrestling Academy Facebook page. Also find information on 365. There's the logo right there. You're going to come and learn some things that you never thought that you could do. But before we talk, we don't need to talk anymore about that right now. Coming back to tonight's episode, we have Eddie Osborne taking on Judas Icarus for the Global Championship. Now, Eddie Osborne is a force to be recognized on the island, beer strong, wrestling personified, taking on the champ. Chow, what do you, without obviously revealing anything, what are your thoughts going into the match here?
I think with this match, it was inevitable that these two competitors would meet. Actually, I think it was inevitable that Eddie Osborne was going to wrestle for the championship, because he's amassed so many big wins. And whether it was going to be back then Travis Williams, whether it's going to be Judas Icarus now or a champion in the future, sooner or later, they have to go through Eddie Osborne. And as we like to say, tonight is the night.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody who's joining us here. Shout out to you, Duke. It's good to see you here on the 365 Combat Show, pre-show. Going to the second match of the evening. Hey, we got Damien joining us here. Wow. How are you doing tonight?
Well, I'm doing all right. Yeah, I was just I just saw this message and I was like, oh, better put a shirt on.
Fair enough. Well, you're sitting there getting caught up. Zach, the second match tonight is Jackie Lee versus Artemis Spencer. What's your thoughts on that?
As I said earlier, Jackie Lee is one of my favorite wrestlers in BC. One of the nicest people I've met, but he's taking on a huge challenge with Artemis Spencer. Just a legend here on the island. Probably one of the best, if not the best wrestler in the Pacific Northwest. He's just so good, and Jackie Lee definitely has a challenge ahead of him. It was a phenomenal match to watch live, and I think you guys are all going to enjoy it tonight on Combat.
I know they are. Damien Kane, you were there. Although it says Dane here, he's all Damien Kane's in this multiverse. We just announced a little bit earlier that you're going to be in a match coming up next week at Spring Break. What are your thoughts on that?
Which match?
Which match? Damien Kane versus Eli Surge.
Oh yes, of course. That's going to be a really fun time. Unfortunately, that Bigfoot-loving sociopath got the better of me last time I was in a ring with him. So I just hope he'll keep his tinfoil hat away from me, and just maybe spinebuster him into the floorboards.
Fair enough. All right. Speaking of spine busters and big moves, what I want to do is I want to thank, of course, we can't do this without our sponsors and everything that exists out there. Big shout out to Unveiling Toys up in Campbell River, Pick a Flick Video down here in Victoria, of course, the Pro Wrestling Academy. But brought to you right now by the Pick a Flick Video. This is from last week's show the ouch of the week. So let's take a look and see. Out. Now, you were on the receiving end of one of those suicide dives, weren't you there?
Yeah, I felt bad for the gentleman I landed on in the audience, but also in my head, the Benny Hill theme song was probably going on in his head, so he was probably fine.
Absolutely. And no, it was on the Max side that the fan got the free hat. Although the last we saw, he was trying to climb a tree to see if birds were real. So
They aren't.
Yeah.
real.
they're not real. We know that for a fact. We've had Eli Surge tell us that in this very studio.
I saw
right.
4 different birds today at Costco, at least 4.
They're still not real.
Yes. We'll get Eli on here one day and we'll figure this out 100%. All right. Quickly wrapping up here again tonight, we have Eddie Osborne taking on Judas Icarus for the Global Championship. Jackie Lee taking on Artemis Spencer for the Grand Championship. Let's do a quick round around. Zach, final thoughts.
Probably one of the most exciting episodes of Combat. Both matches are just so hard hitting. Lots of really cool technical stuff going on, especially during Jackie and Artemis. You just don't want to miss them tonight.
I agree. Chow, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, once again, as we were calling this, I knew we had something really good going into this show, going into the card in general, and I think the fans are going to enjoy every moment of this episode, these two matches, and who knows, win, lose, draw, we're going to see more of these 4 wrestlers in the future. Sky's the limit.
Absolutely. Damian Keynes, what are your thoughts about the 2 matches tonight?
I can't really speak for the Eddie Judas match. I mean, last time I saw those 2 go at it, Judas got the better of him, so I got a lot of faith in Judas. I just, I'm just a big Jackie Lee guy at this point in time, and him and I went to the Wendy's together recently, and we just had a blast. So I hope he did well.
Nice. Yes, I may have heard some reports about that, but that's okay. It's all good. Myself, definitely, I got to say, I am definitely excited about the match. The first match is phenomenal, and then Jackie flying and Artemis doing what Artemis does, again, amazing. One other thing I want to throw out, keep an eye on the 365 YouTube page and the Facebook page. There is a special Heat episode of Combat coming up for the stuff that we did not have time to put on the episode tonight, so you can kind of see what happened after the bell rang. But that's it for the meantime. We're going to throw it one more time for our upcoming show here in spring break. I'm Damon Roth for the crew here, all of us at 365 Combat. Thank you for joining us and enjoy tonight's show.
365 Spring Break is coming to Victoria on March 19th. You're not going to want to miss this. Damian Keynes is taking on Eli Surge. Eddie Osborne is taking on Travis Williams. Lax Siddhartha taking on global champion Judas Icarus. Liza Hall taking on Daniel McCabe. State of emergency in tag team action against Eli Tribe. Nicole Matthews taking on Elliot Tyler. Do not miss 365 Professional Wrestling Spring Break. Card and venue subject to change.